My first real trip of the year. Are you an optimist? Well, I am. Let's see how it goes. Yep. You got somebody. Finally, it's late May, start of Memorial Day weekend, and we finally have a beautiful day with light wind and nice sun. The rain has just come through, so the front is lifted. And I actually saw another guy over in the first spot we went to. He was in my spot, tying to a big redfish. So we think they're back. Now Dick and I only have an hour before we have to get back to where we launch because of the tide. So I'm hopeful that in the spot where I am right now, I'm going to catch something as the tide goes out. And you can see what a beautiful day this is. Just look out there. Totally flat water, nice sun, calm tide. This is great. The only thing that would make it perfect is if I actually catch a fish. So what I'm using today is I've got some gulp with me, but we were able to still have some dead bait from last year. It's been frozen in my freezer. I'm going to use this up first because it's cheap, and we'll see what's going to go on here. So I'm checking out my electronics. They're all here on my smartphone, and I got my angler app up, and I'm confirmed that I'm sitting right in the spot where I usually catch a bunch of fish. Now the other thing that I need to check out is the tide table to see where we are. Right now it's at 2.53 and falling, and I know that I've got to get back to the launch right around 1 foot. Otherwise you're stuck in the mud trying to get back to the place where we launch. We have a buddy who lets us launch off his private property, and I don't want to sit there 30 feet from shore. Just had a call on the radio from Dick. He's over there. You can see him maybe in the distance. I think he may have just caught a redfish. I'll wait for the confirmation call. Yep, he caught a redfish. That's great. Now we know that they're back, pushed back in here into the marsh where we fish. The water temp's about 72. They like it when it's 70 above and below about 85. So maybe this is going to be the good start to the season. Now it's my turn. I need to catch one. So if you fish with bait, how long do you leave it out there before you check? I usually go about 5 minutes. I've still got bait on here, so I'm going to throw this guy back out. I've got the bait hanging underneath a popping cork to be able to keep it up off the bottom and away from the crabs a little bit. You know, the crabs are going to go up there and get it anyway, but it makes me feel better. On my other rod, I've got an old piece of fish bites, and I've got my pipe cleaner wrapped around there to hold some scent, and I think I'll put a piece of bait on there as well, just to make this a big juicy blob for somebody. Could you resist that if you were redfish? Now, if you fish salt water, you know when the rod tip starts doing this, it means a crab is after your bait. So you get this thing back in, check it, and get it back out. So I just threw it out in a different spot. That way I'll feed a different crab. Well, the tide's 2.26 and it's falling at 1 foot an hour according to the app. It's a high tide coefficient today, and what that means is that if the coefficient is high, you've got a big difference between high tide and low tide, and it's going to fall quicker to make it in the standard time frame between high and low tide. So 1 foot, 1 hour, that's probably what I've got left out here. You know, and that kind of brings up the standard question of when do you move? I know it's going to take 15 minutes to get back to the launch, which means I've only got about 45 minutes of hang time. And if I move someplace else, it's going to take probably 10 minutes to get there to the other good spot I know over there. So do you stick it out or do you move? You know, if I move, I might catch a fish. I might catch a fish here though too. So the dilemma. I think I'm just going to stay here. For those of you guys who may not have seen the video I did on, this is my holder, and this works really well. And I've got a strap to the back of the phone, so I'm not going to lose the phone overboard. I'll link up the two videos on these down below. If you don't have a Tide app, you can always watch the Oyster Bed. They're starting to pop up over there, which tells me time is starting to wind down. Well, Dick and I are in that one more cast, just one more cast mode right now. You can see he's over here to my right, checking out the shoreline over there. Incidentally, that's the very first place we caught a redfish back in this bay, and that's what cued us to the fact that this might be a good spot. I'm over here on the left bank. We've never caught anything over here, but that doesn't mean the one last cast won't work here. Well, I don't think it's going to be today. It's almost time to leave. Got another 15 minutes. But the good news is that we know that the redfish are coming back. Usually the small guys, the underslot, like Dick caught, come back first, and then the big guys come in a little bit later. Usually in early June is when the mullet, the big bait runs, start coming back in, and that's when the fishing really picks up. But it's been a beautiful day, and I even got to see some wildlife. There's a bird over there. Got to see him fly up, glide down, and now I'm watching him hunt. What a great day. Well, I hope your first trip of the season results in some fish getting caught. I did catch a couple small croakers on an earlier trip, but until I catch a redfish, it doesn't count. So, good luck to you. Have a happy Memorial Day. Take care.